Let's be honest for a moment. How many times have you opened your eyes before even stretching your body or taking a deep breath, and your mind has already started running to the to-do list, running to the unanswered emails, running to the nameless worries about the long day ahead? Have you ever woken up feeling like you're being pulled into a whirlpool, even before getting out of bed? That feeling isn't rare. We grow up believing that mornings are meant for acceleration, that successful people are the ones who jump out of bed quickly, handle everything efficiently, and start the day like warriors. But few realize that stress doesn't really come from the amount of work we have, but from how we begin. If you step into the morning with a rushed, reactive, tense mindset, then even if the rest of the day moves slowly, you'll still feel exhausted because you've lost your inner rhythm from the very first second. But what if there's another way? A gentler way? A morning without harsh alarms, without complicated routines, without trying to become a superhuman version of yourself. Just a few quiet moments, a deep breath, a conscious movement, a peaceful space. That is the spirit of Asa Kanso, the art of simplifying mornings through Japanese minimalism. In this video, you'll discover 7 subtle secrets to reset your mental state from the very moment you open your eyes. If you've ever dreamed of a morning that feels calm, full, and free from anxiety, then this video is for you. And if you stay until the end, the 7th secret will be the key to unlocking a new day, not only lighter, but also filled with intention and freedom. Secret 1, the spiritual nemawashi, clearing decisions the night before. Morning peace doesn't actually begin in the morning. It begins the night before, when you choose to live with intention instead of reaction. We often don't realize most of the stress we feel the next morning doesn't come from big things, but from dozens of tiny, invisible decisions. What to wear today, what to eat, what to do first, who to reply to first. They may seem harmless, but each of those choices consumes a bit of your precious mental energy, the energy that should be saved for what truly matters. The Japanese have a beautiful concept called nemawashi, which means carefully preparing the roots before planting a tree. When the roots are ready, the tree stands firm. When the mind is prepared, the day feels peaceful. In minimalism, nemawashi becomes a spiritual act. It's not just about organizing things, it's a way of honoring your inner energy. A quiet kind of preparation, but full of intention. A gentle message that says, I will step into tomorrow with clarity. Imagine this. You neatly fold the outfit you'll wear and hang it up, as if preparing a small ritual. You set out the ingredients for a simple breakfast, like laying a soft carpet for a calm beginning. You write down the 3 most important things for tomorrow, just 3, clear enough to guide you, but never to overwhelm. You place your phone far from the bed. You recharge the batteries, both of your device and yourself. And then you go to sleep. No clutter in your mind. No feeling that tomorrow will be chaotic. Just a mental space that feels tidy, like a freshly cleaned room, faintly fragrant, ready to welcome the first light of morning. You've removed the tiny, draining decisions. You've saved your energy for what truly deserves it. And when morning comes, you don't need to rush. You simply step into the new day, gently, like sunlight streaming through the curtains. An intentional day begins with a prepared night, and that is the gift you can give yourself every evening. Secret 2, waking up with Tayo. 60 seconds of stillness to begin an intentional day. If nemawashi is the preparation from the night before, then Tayo is how you step into the morning with gentle connection. Most of us wake up in a state of being pulled awake. The sudden alarm, the harsh sound, the jolt of opening your eyes halfway, as if someone turned on the light and shouted in a dark room. And just a few seconds later, your hand reaches for the phone. The screen's light hits your eyes. Messages, emails, meeting schedules, a random video, a piece of news that has nothing to do with you but is enough to twist your emotions. Just minutes after waking up, you've already lost control of your mind. The Japanese call the sun Tayo, not just a source of light, but the rhythm of life itself. The sun never rushes. It doesn't jump into the sky. It rises slowly, gently, steadily. And because of that, it creates a strong beginning for every living thing. So why do we allow ourselves to be woken up so violently? Neuroscience shows that during the first 60 seconds after waking, the brain is still in alpha and theta waves, a deeply relaxed, receptive, and creative state. If you use this moment to breathe, to feel, and to set your direction, you're planting a seed of calm for the entire day. But if you let the world rush in first, you've lost a precious opportunity, the chance to lead your day instead of being led by it. Try a small ritual. When the alarm rings, whether it's soft music, wind chimes, or birdsong, don't jump up right away. Don't touch your phone. Keep your eyes closed for a few more seconds. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Feel your own breathing. Feel the softness of your blanket, the pillow beneath your head, and the gentle light seeping through the curtains. Just 60 seconds. But those are 60 seconds entirely yours. No one can take them from you. It's not an act of discipline. It's an act of love. When you train yourself to enter the morning this way, you're not only syncing with your natural rhythm, you're also sending a message to your mind: today I will live with presence. Don't let your day begin with a jolt. Let it begin like the sunrise, quiet, slow, and full of intention. Because sometimes, a peaceful morning only takes 60 seconds of presence. Secret 3. The spiritual Genkan. Clearing. One surface to purify an entire morning. After you've prepared from the night before, after you've been present for the first 60 seconds upon waking, now it's time to open your eyes and step out of your mind, to return to your body, to the real space around you, and the very first thing you see is the first thing that shapes your mood for the day. A desk scattered with papers, a chair holding yesterday's clothes, a sink still carrying traces of dinner. Just one glance before even touching anything, and your mind already stirs. The brain registers it as unfinished business. And then, before you even sit down for your first sip of water, part of your mental energy has already been drained. The Japanese have a concept called Genkan, the entryway of a home, where you take off your shoes, leaving behind the dust and tension before stepping into your inner world. Genkan is not just a place. It's a boundary between outside and inside, between chaos and calm, between the world and yourself. The problem is, in our modern rhythm, that Genkan has faded. We've lost our rituals of transition, no buffer, no boundary. Everything blurs together: housework, work, news, messages, all flooding in at once. We wake up and are thrown straight into the stream of must do, must answer, must clean. But you can change that with just one small act. Choose one surface, just one, a desk, a corner of the kitchen, a shelf, and clear it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to scrub the entire house. Just 5 minutes, just enough to make that space empty and intentional, like sweeping a small courtyard and feeling your soul being cleansed with every stroke of the broom. Because when the space around you is clear, your mind becomes clear too. When you see an unobstructed surface, your mind understands. This is the beginning. No leftovers from yesterday. No weight waiting for you. That's how you send a quiet but powerful signal. I deserve this clarity. Japanese minimalism doesn't glorify cold emptiness. It celebrates soulful simplicity, where everything has a reason to exist and is cared for with presence. And in that small act, clearing just one surface, you are practicing appreciation. Appreciation for the space you live in. Appreciation for gentle transitions between states. Appreciation for yourself. Don't see cleaning as an obligation. See it as a ritual of opening the door to clarity, because sometimes, to brighten the mind, all you need is to wipe the table clean. Secret 4. Wabi-Sabi and breakfast. Being present with imperfection. After you've cleared the transitional space with the spiritual Genkan, now it's time to return to nourishing your body, not with a fancy meal, but with a moment of presence, simple, humble, and imperfect. Wabi-Sabi is a beautiful Japanese philosophy. It doesn't seek perfection. It doesn't demand polish. It doesn't chase what glitters. Wabi-Sabi teaches us to appreciate what already is, even if it's old, flawed, or uneven, as long as it's real, alive, and present. And breakfast, if you pay attention, is a pure Wabi-Sabi practice. We often eat in haste, one hand holding a spoon, the other scrolling through the phone, eyes reading the news, ears listening to a podcast, mouth chewing quickly to keep up with time, and in doing so, we miss one of the most sacred rituals of the morning, mindful eating. Breakfast, seemingly small, is actually the beginning point of your entire mental state. If you eat in a rush, the whole day will carry that rhythm of haste. If you eat with presence, you plant a seed of stillness in your soul. No need for elaborate rituals. Begin with something simple: a slice of toast, a bowl of porridge, a warm cup of tea. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be full. It only needs to nourish you, gently and intentionally. Then, as you sit down, place your phone far away. Don't read. Don't listen. Just hear the sound of the spoon touching the bowl, the warmth spreading through your fingers holding the cup. Feel the texture of the food, its fragrance, the gentle sweetness or faint saltiness on your tongue. Your body will thank you for it. And your mind, for the first time since waking up, will learn to pause, even if just for a few minutes. This isn't a slow eating technique. It's a soft reminder to yourself: I deserve to be nourished with appreciation, not with haste. A breakfast doesn't need to be perfect to be complete. A bowl of leftover rice can still be a ritual if you eat it with gratitude. An old wooden table can still become a meditation space if you sit at it with presence. Wabi-Sabi doesn't lie in what you eat. It lies in how you eat. And when you give yourself those few quiet minutes each morning, you are teaching your mind to accept imperfection and still find peace. Serenity doesn't come from a flawless meal, but from the way you honor each imperfect bite right in this very moment. Secret 5. The 5-minute Kaizen, turning stillness into action. When your mind has settled, your space is tidy, and your body has been nourished, the next thing you need is a small step, an action light, enough not to make you hesitate, but clear enough to pull you out of procrastination. The Japanese call it Kaizen, the spirit of continuous improvement through small, steady, intentional steps. In the modern world, we're drawn to grand goals: writing a book, learning a new language, starting a business, and the greatness of those goals is exactly what keeps us still. They're too big, too distant, too overwhelming. And so, we delay. Kaizen teaches the opposite. If you want to go far, start small. So small that you can't say no. So small that your brain has no excuse to resist. Small, but consistent. Imagine this. This morning, you have a to-do list as long as a tablecloth. Just looking at it makes you want to crawl back under the blanket. But if you start with just one task that takes exactly 5 minutes, everything changes. Write 5 lines for that writing project you've been dreaming about. Learn 5 new words if you're studying Japanese. Note down 5 recent financial transactions if you're trying to manage your spending. Just 5 minutes, no more. Because 5 minutes isn't long enough to create pressure, but it's enough to begin. And once you begin, you'll realize the hardest part is already over. The 5-minute Kaizen creates momentum, the small push you need to keep going. Like pushing a heavy door, once you lean at the right spot, it swings open. The mind works the same way. It doesn't need you to do much, it just needs you to do something. The 5-minute Kaizen is also an antidote to paralysis, that helpless feeling when facing too much at once. Instead of waiting until you have enough time, enough energy, enough inspiration, you're telling yourself, I'll start with what I have, right now. And you know what? One small step in the morning can create a ripple effect for the entire day. You don't just feel like you've accomplished something, you feel capable of continuing, you feel in control, and you've acted instead of just thinking. It's like planting a small seed every day. At first, nothing seems to change, but a month, a year later, you'll sit under the shade of the tree you planted yourself. Deep transformation doesn't come from bursts of effort that fade away. It comes from steady steps, quiet, unassuming, but persistent every day. Let your tomorrow morning begin with those 5 minutes, gentle, humble, and enough to awaken your spirit of action. Because the first step doesn't have to be big, it just has to happen. Secret 6. Emotional Danshari, clearing the mental baggage of yesterday. Morning is the beginning of a new day, but for many people, it's merely a continuation of the old one. The body wakes up, yet the mind remains stuck in unfinished stories. A few words still echoing in your head. A meeting that didn't end well. A vague, uneasy feeling you can't quite name. Those fragments of emotion, small as they seem, quietly occupy space in the memory of your mind. Have you ever turned on your computer and forgotten to close the dozens of tabs from yesterday? Everything still runs in the background, consuming energy, making the system sluggish, even though you're doing nothing. The human mind works the same way. If you don't clear the emotional clutter from the previous day, your morning will begin heavy, even when nothing new has gone wrong. The Japanese have a philosophy called Danshari, 3 actions that embody the spirit of letting go. Dan means refusing to take in more, Sha means discarding, and Ri means distancing yourself from what is past. Danshari isn't only about possessions. It's the art of cleansing the mind, a way of detaching from the invisible burdens you unconsciously carry each day. In the morning, before touching your phone, before taking any action, give yourself 3 minutes of Danshari, a minimalist yet powerful ritual to restore clarity to your mind. Take a piece of paper or a small notebook. Write down 3 things that still weigh on you from yesterday. It could be the irritation from someone misunderstanding your words, the regret of not accomplishing something, or just the faint feeling that you're not enough. Don't analyze, don't fix, just write. Let the words flow like the first long exhale of the morning. Once those emotions are on paper, they're no longer in your head. You've performed Sha, the act of discarding. Writing isn't for revisiting, but for making the invisible visible. You've seen them, named them, and in doing so, they begin to lose their power. Then, read those 3 lines again, slowly. Ask yourself, do I really need to carry these things into today? The answer, most of the time, is no. At that moment, you can add 1 more line. I leave this with yesterday. You can tear the paper apart or fold it and set it aside. Whatever you do, that physical act is a declaration to yourself. The past is over, and I choose not to carry it anymore. Just 3 minutes, but the effect is like closing unnecessary tabs in your mind. Suddenly you feel lighter, you breathe easier, and you're ready for a new day. Psychology calls this the closure effect, conscious completion. When you create a small ritual to close off the previous day, your brain understands that a cycle has ended and you can start anew. Like wiping your desk clean before beginning new work, the outer order mirrors the inner one. Practicing emotional Danshari isn't just about letting go, it's how you learn to honor your own energy. You stop letting the past shape the present. You stop letting small things dictate your mood today. You're training the most essential minimalist skill of all, the skill of stopping. And when you stop, you finally become present. You can see the morning light slipping through the curtains, hear the birds singing, or simply feel the warmth of a teacup in your hands, without being weighed down by yesterday. Let every morning be a true beginning, not just on the clock, but in your mind. Write, release, and smile, because today deserves to begin with a light soul. You can't step into a new day with both hands still holding on to yesterday. Let go to be free. Secret 7, Balanced Ikigai, the final filter to keep your morning on course. After you've cleared your space, organized your mind, released your emotions, nourished your body, and acted with intention, there's something even more important. You need to know where you're heading. If not, you'll still be swept away by other people's demands, by endless to-do lists, by reactive habits. And no matter how gentle your morning begins, you could still end the day feeling tired and directionless. The philosophy of Ikigai is the compass that keeps your morning and your life on the right course. Ikigai is the reason you want to wake up every morning. It's the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. But in the spirit of a minimalist morning, Ikigai isn't an abstract theory. It's a practical filter to help you choose what deserves your energy, what can wait, and what should be released. Because often, stress doesn't come from how much you have to do, but from spending energy on things unrelated to your true values. You say yes to every invitation, every opportunity, every seems like I should, and little by little, you drift away from your own center. Pause for a moment while the morning is still quiet. Revisit the 3 important tasks you wrote down the night before, and for each one, ask yourself a very simple question. Does this truly serve my Ikigai? If the answer is yes, you know that's what you should do first, with full presence. If the answer is no, you can still do it. But be honest, you can postpone, you can delegate, you can even let it go. And that doesn't mean failure. On the contrary, it means courage. Because in a world that constantly demands you to do more, choosing to do less but better is the deepest minimalist act. Ikigai doesn't tell you to chase passion blindly, it teaches balance. Balance between responsibility and passion. Between nurturing and contributing. Between what you need to do to live and what makes you feel alive. When you act from Ikigai, you no longer feel busy. You feel aligned. You stop comparing yourself to others because you know you're living at your own rhythm. You don't need to be the best. You don't need to stand out. You just need to be true to yourself. Picture a small river. It's not loud, it's not hurried, but it always flows toward the sea because it knows its way. Ikigai is the same. It doesn't ask you to do more. It only asks you to remember why. And every morning, when everything is still, when the sunlight is soft, when your mind hasn't been pulled in 100 directions, return to that question. What am I living for? If you can answer it, every other choice in your day will feel lighter. Because in the end, the most minimalist way to live isn't to live with less. It's to live with a clear reason why. We've just walked together through a small yet profound journey. Asa Kanso, the art of simplifying your morning in the Japanese way, not through strict rules but through gentle, intentional rituals. From nemawashi, where you clear away unnecessary decisions, to taio, where you reclaim the first 60 seconds, not for the world, but for yourself. You've cleared one surface in your spiritual Genkan, eaten an imperfect yet mindful breakfast in the spirit of Wabi-Sabi, and stepped into action with 5 minutes of Kaizen, not much, but enough to break free from procrastination. You've learned to release the emotional weight of yesterday through the 3-minute Danshari ritual, and after it all, you've reconnected with your deeper purpose through Ikigai, ensuring that everything you do today carries meaning. This journey isn't a checklist of things to do, it's an invitation to live differently, to live slower, lighter, with more intention. Japanese minimalism doesn't ask you to throw away what you love. It helps you keep what truly matters. Not because less is better, but because less makes room for what's essential. You don't have to start with all 7 steps. Just choose one. One small action you can repeat tomorrow morning. Maybe it's writing 3 lines of Danshari. Maybe it's tidying your workspace surface. Maybe it's simply sitting still for the first 60 seconds without reaching for your phone. Liberation doesn't come from a grand decision. It comes from a small, steady, conscious movement. And you can begin that tomorrow morning. So among the 7 secrets we explored, which spiritual Genkan do you want to clear first? The physical clutter or an emotion quietly lingering inside? Share in the comments which secret you will try first. It's not just words, but a small promise to yourself. If this video brought you a breath of ease, a light idea, or simply a quiet minute amid the rush, you can like and subscribe to continue walking together on this journey of living slowly, deeply, and meaningfully.